Good morning everyone, and welcome to another video. If you are new here, my name is Reese. I'm 22 years old and I like making fitness, food, and wellness content, and I am so happy you decided to join me today. If you aren't new here and do know who I am, welcome back and thank you for clicking on another video. I also have an Instagram over at Reese Madeline Fit where I post recipes, full days of eating. I post a lot of my workouts, so if you want to go and check that out, that link will be in the description for you to take a look. Today I'm going to be showing you guys just what a typical weekday morning in my life looks like. You guys saw my routine so far. Pretty much as soon as I wake up, I grab my journal and I try to spend about 5 to 10 minutes writing down just how I'm feeling or anything that's immediately on my mind when I wake up in the morning. I feel like doing a nice little brain dump just helps kind of clear my mind and help me be reset for the day. And then I made my bed, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and pretty much immediately threw on my shoes and went for a short little walk. I usually will do like a 20-minute walk in the morning. When it started getting warmer here a couple weeks ago, I decided that I really wanted to try and start taking a walk first thing in the morning, just so I was getting outside, getting some sunlight, getting some fresh air, although today there's not a whole lot of sun and the air isn't super fresh because it's filled with pollen. That's a little unfortunate, but it's gonna get better. So now it is about 7:30. I just got back from my walk and I'm gonna head back into my room and spend an hour on my personal training certification studying. I'm working towards getting my personal training certification right now through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I just finished up the last chapter in the book, and so once I finish this practice test, I'm going to be officially done with all of the material in the book, and it's just going to be a matter of going over everything and studying so I can take the exam, which I am hoping to take by the end of this month or kind of beginning mid-May. So that is super exciting. And I really have been enjoying the course and just learning more in depth different principles of exercise, principles of personal training. I don't know if I will eventually want to be a personal trainer or do personal training. I was taking the course more as a personal goal of mine and as something to educate myself as someone who has been into fitness for a really long time, but who knows, maybe someday I'll use it. I'm gonna go ahead and do that before I eat breakfast, and I will probably see you guys next when I am heading out to the gym. We have made it to the gym. I normally try to get to the gym at about 9:30 during the week because I'll usually try to have breakfast by like 8:15, 8:30, so food has a good like hour or so to digest before I make it here. It is now 10 a.m. so I'm here a little bit later than I wanted to be. It was honestly just kind of taking me a bit to get out the door. The pollen that has been in the air actually caused me to wake up feeling pretty sick. Okay, this is editing Reese needing to make an interjection. I'm going through and I'm editing this footage right now, and as you can see, I am in bed because I am very sick with the flu right now. Fun fact, I recorded this video when did I record it? Wednesday morning, and right after I finish the video, you guys will see I eat lunch and everything. I feel like I've been hit by a bus, and by that night I have chills and I'm achy, and the next morning I woke up with a fever and found out I have the flu. So every time that I mention that I think that the pollen is making me sick in the video and that I'm starting to feel ill because of the pollen, it was not the pollen. I fully was coming down with the flu. I just think that's kind of funny. And I wanted to mention that because I feel like there's 2 more times in this video that I go on about how the pollen is making me sick. Yes, the pollen is bad here, but it was the flu, and that's why I was feeling so bad. And I know that now. Let's go back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm just have a lot of sinus drainage. You could probably hear it in my throat right now and in my clip when I was talking this morning outside. And I took some ibuprofen and I took some allergy medicine, so I feel a little bit better, but I'm still just feeling like kind of run down and tired. So I don't know exactly how this workout's gonna go. I'm just gonna kind of take it as it is and push myself while still listening to my body and not, you know, kind of going over the top, because I don't want to make myself feel worse or anything. But like I said, I don't really think it's like an actual virus or anything. I think just whatever has been blooming the past 2 or 3 days here is like making my immune system just freak out and attack itself. That's super fun. That's why I was kind of just really taking my time and moving pretty slowly. So it took a little longer to get out the door than I wanted to, but we made it here. And today I have a glutes and hamstrings workout. I actually just changed up my split this week. I finished my bulk at the beginning of last week, and I still did the same workouts that I was doing on it when I was at home last week, because I was traveling for 3 days, and then the rest of the week I was just busy with other things. So I was like, I don't have time to be writing myself new workouts or figuring out a new training split or anything like that. But I did some of that over the weekend because I have wanted to start incorporating running into my weekly training. I want to incorporate running, and I wanted to incorporate some more like functional full body type of moves, and maybe even some calisthenics or something. I talked about this in my bulking recap video, and I've talked about it on my Instagram, but I've just been kind of really drawn to other styles of training recently, and I want to make my approach to fitness and working out a little bit more well-rounded than purely sticking to resistance training, which is pretty much what I've done for the past 4 years at least. I would say I've only lifted weights. I've only been in the gym. There's been a couple times, like there was one time last fall where we do like a 5-mile race for Thanksgiving, and so I was running once a week to kind of train for that. Other than that, I've really just stuck to walking is the only form of cardio that I do, and everything else is classic resistance hypertrophy training. So it probably makes a little bit of sense that I'm kind of starting to want to try other things. And I know like hybrid training has been a really big thing in the fitness community the past year or so. There was definitely a large part of me that was just resisting that at first. I am just such a big proponent of resistance training, and I still really wanted to build muscle and get stronger, and running a lot isn't like the most conducive to that. So it was just something I avoided. But I went on my first run yesterday. It went pretty well, actually, for my first run in I think 5 months. My goal was just to run for about 30 minutes. I wanted to make a loop back to my house, so it ended up being about 3 miles, which, to be fair, I think that was kind of a lofty goal for my first run. I think I was kind of comparing myself in my head to people I saw on social media and like, oh, I should be able to run this distance in this amount of time and like I'll be fine, even though I hadn't run in so long. The first 2 miles felt great. 9-minute pace was totally fine, but I burned myself out by that last mile. I definitely should have been going slower out of the gate, or I shouldn't have been running that long of a distance. Thankfully, I do feel fine today. I made sure to stretch before and after. I foam rolled after. Because of my lower body anatomy and my legs, I have found that I'm particularly prone to shin splints. So I really made sure I was like, okay, I'm gonna foam roll afterward. And my legs and feet feel good. Like I feel good today and everything going into this workout, but I think I'm definitely going to slow my pace down a little bit, or a lot bit. Just take things slower and make it more of a slower progression instead of just expecting myself to be able to like jump back into running a 5K at like a sub 9-minute pace. Maybe that's realistic for some people. As someone who hasn't run in so long, it's not realistic for me. Even though I did it yesterday, like I said, I think I pushed myself a little bit too hard, and I was definitely feeling it at the end. But just as far as my new split goes, just to kind of give you an overview of how I'm breaking up the week and everything, my goal for right now is still doing 4 to 5 sessions in the gym per week and 2 runs per week. I'm still going to be taking a full rest day and everything. I think I'm going to be training probably 5 to 6 days a week, depending on a day that I do a shorter run, because I think I'm going to have one be like a shorter speed type run where I'm going a little bit faster, but just shorter mileage. I'm going to pair that with a gym workout. So I'm still kind of figuring things out. And since I don't have any experience with hybrid training or writing a running program or just writing a hybrid training program in general, I kind of wrote this initial one, and I'm going to like go through this week, see how I'm feeling, see what works, see what doesn't, and I may end up changing it up just depending on how that goes. This week, my plan was, and what I've been doing is, Monday was a full push day. So I was doing chest, shoulders, and quads, which was definitely interesting because I don't normally do lower body on the same day as upper body, but I just made it like an all push movement workout. I think I saw the idea from someone else on social media and I was like, oh, that might be kind of fun because normally I'll like solely train upper or solely train lower body. Yesterday, Tuesday, I did a run, which was going to be my like longer run day. Today, Wednesday, is going to be just a gym session, full glutes and hamstrings day. I really don't want to lose the strength and the muscle that I've built in my lower body. So going into this hybrid training phase and going into exploring running, I really want to make sure that I'm still prioritizing training my lower body. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, is going to be my shorter run day and probably a little bit speedier. I'll probably only go a mile and just kind of go for time and just see how fast I can run it. And then before that, I'm going to do a back and arms workout, kind of combining the bit of resistance training with the shorter run. And then Friday is going to be my functional full body day, which I am so excited for because I have been wanting to try functional full body circuit workouts for a while now. So I'm excited for that one. It's going to be super fun. Saturdays, I want to have that be another glute day. So training in the gym and then also incorporating some calisthenics or body weight movements. Sunday is going to be my rest day for now. Still an active rest day. I'll probably take a long walk. That's what I'll normally do on my rest days. That is the plan for right now. And like I said, it is definitely a very tentative plan because basically I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going to see how it goes. And like I said, at the end of the week, I'm going to kind of take a pause, reevaluate, maybe switch some things up, figure out if I want to make any tweaks and kind of just go from there. So that is my training right now. As far as my nutrition goes, which I also talked about in my bulking recap video, going forward, I am not tracking macros. I'm just eating intuitively. My eating is still ending up being pretty similar to where I ended my bulk, which is interesting, just like based on my hunger and everything. I think also with running more and doing the circuit workouts and having a little bit more high intensity training happening, especially when I have runs on the same day as lifts, I think I'll definitely need to make sure that I'm really focusing on fueling myself properly, which is going to be a good challenge for me with intuitive eating and making sure that I am getting enough. But I know that if I truly listen to my body's hunger cues and hunger signals and also mental hunger signals, I think I will be just fine and fueling myself properly for all of the training and for all of the activity that I am doing. It's going to be a great learning experience for me to be able to recognize, okay, like it is possible for me to be very hungry and just be someone who needs a very high volume of food, which for such a long time seemed so out of the norm to me that I was just afraid to eat that much, even though my body was signaling me to, which is why the bulk was helpful because I kind of learned, wow, like I really can eat this amount of food and it actually is really good for my body and makes me feel my best. But I don't want to have to rely on macro tracking as a tool to be making sure that I'm eating enough for the rest of my life. I need to be reliant on my body's own signals and comfortable honoring those, even if it does seem like a lot to me. That is basically the plan, but I need to finish my pre-workout. It is like 10:15 at this point, so I really need to go get into the gym because I do have other things that I need to do today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get in the gym and get started on this glute and hamstrings workout, and you guys will get to see everything and follow along with me if you want to try it out yourself. So as usual, I started out my workout with a 10-minute warm-up walk on the treadmill before moving into 5 to 10 minutes of doing dynamic stretching. And I usually just pick a couple of exercises and I will do one set of each. And I pick exercises that are typically targeting stretching the muscles that I'm going to be focused on training during my session. So today was glutes and hamstrings. So I was making sure that I was really stretching out my hamstrings, my hip flexors, just most of the muscles of my leg. Honestly, I typically have very tight hips. So I was really focusing on that and kind of just taking this time to get warm, see what feels good, and mentally prepare myself before I went into the first exercise. My first exercise today was the barbell hip thrust. I like starting with these because I feel like they really target my glutes and my glutes feel very activated afterward, which is helpful for the rest of the workout where there are some exercises that you can end up being a little bit more hamstring dominant or maybe a little bit more quad dominant. And if my glutes are already activated, it's easier for me to feel that. I was doing 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps of the barbell hip thrusts, and as you can see, I was doing a pretty heavy weight, so I think I was actually only able to get about 8 reps for each set. Moving into the next exercise, I was doing a barbell Romanian deadlift. I like doing the hip hinge exercise right after that hip extension exercise with the hip thrust. For those, as you can see, I'm using straps because my grip will typically give out before my legs do, and I'm going a little down past my knees and then using my hamstrings and glutes to pull myself and the bar back up to that starting position. The next exercise that I was doing was a single leg movement, and that was the cable step-ups. I've actually never done these before. This was my first time trying them, and I can say that I am already a fan. The second to last exercise that I did was the seated leg curl, and I was doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 of those. And the last set I had be a drop set. So after I did those 12 to 15 reps on set 3, I dropped the weight down about 10 to 15 pounds, and then I did one more set to failure on there. As you can see, I was having a hard time. Then the last exercise I did this workout was the weighted hyperextension. I really like these as a great burnout to end with. I did 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps of these with a fairly heavy weight, and the last set I was pretty much going to failure. Finally, I ended the workout as usual with a couple of minutes of cool down stretching. For the cool down, I'll just do static stretches, so holding the stretch for 20 to 30 seconds and just loosening everything up again and making sure I'm feeling good to go before heading out for the rest of the day. So I just finished up my workout, and was that hard? Wow. I really think that the pollen has actually affected me so much because my cardiovascular endurance was just not there today at all. I was doing my warm-up walk on the treadmill and I was struggling. Also, sorry you're gonna hear cars in the background because it's so hot outside that I can't sit in my car without the window open. I need ventilation. I started with kind of a heavier weight for me on the hip thrust because I thought I could get at least 8. I had to swallow my pride and go right back down like 20 pounds just so I could keep tempo and everything. And you could still see in the clip that I was really struggling. Just the entire workout was honestly kind of a mental battle because I just didn't feel great physically. I felt well enough that I could do it. It was just a lot more difficult and a lot more uncomfortable, and my cardiovascular endurance because of the pollen affecting my breathing was just not there. So that was a struggle in itself because even just the warm-up walk, by the end of it, I started to feel just not great. So that was not ideal, but you know what? We got it done and we're here. I felt like I was getting good mind-muscle connection and I was really focusing on my form. I could really feel the exercise in whatever muscle group I was trying to work and really focusing on that. I feel like I'm just gonna be toasted for the rest of the day, honestly. I'm gonna go back. I'm very excited to make and eat some lunch and just sit. I am not going outside the rest of the day because whatever is in the air here is slowly killing me or something. I'm gonna head back to my house. I'm gonna make some lunch and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm making. We are gonna be having honey mustard chicken wraps. I actually made them for the first time for dinner last night and they were really good, so I'm making them again for lunch. I already have the chicken and the turkey bacon cooked and meal prepped and everything, so I just kind of need to put it all in a wrap. So let's head home and I'll show you guys the recipe. So for the honey mustard chicken wraps, I started with heating up the pre-prepared turkey bacon and chicken that I had. I had meal prepped these earlier this week. I just cooked the turkey bacon in a pan and I cut up the chicken into slices and then air fried it and seasoned it. I also sliced up some avocado to get that prepared before moving on to making the sauce. So for the sauce, I used the G. Hughes sugar-free honey mustard and a little bit of Greek yogurt, and I just mixed that all up. Then I grabbed my wraps, and to assemble them all, I started with a layer of lettuce on the bottom before putting on some of that sliced avocado. Then I went in with the chicken that I had just heated up, and I like putting on the sauce in between the chicken and the turkey bacon so it gets on both of them. So I went in with the sauce I made and then finished it off by layering on the turkey bacon. So I just finished up making lunch. You guys saw I'm having the chicken, turkey bacon, honey mustard, and avocado wraps. So I just wrapped them up nice and easy so I can eat them while I'm sitting here doing work at my desk. Definitely not my most aesthetically pleasing meal, but it is really high protein and it is minimal ingredient and does not take that long to make. And those are my main requirements for most of the meals and recipes that I do. I'm gonna go ahead and eat these while, like I said, I need to get started on some work for the afternoon. So that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. So if you are still watching, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. I have really been loving making YouTube videos and I want to make content that you guys are going to enjoy and want to see. So if there is anything in particular that you do want to see, make sure to leave me a comment down below, or you can shoot me a DM over at my Instagram I mentioned earlier at ReeseMadelineFit. That link will also be in the description, and you can go and follow me on there if you'd like, if you want to see more of my life and what I do with fitness and food and also outside of the gym. And if you did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when the next one comes out each week. Other than that, thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. For a little day in my life, there is a train in the background. Why? Doesn't, and I may, ooh, can't talk. Maybe switch things. Ugh. I'm gonna have to cut out so much of this clip because I can't talk because I'm having trouble breathing.